Hi, and welcome to Homeschool Advice with Laura Geis. I'm Laura Geis, author of the Homeschool Toolkit and founder of HomeschoolAdviceOnline.com. And this month we seem to have a theme going of questions about math, and this one's no different. A mother writes in and asks, do you have any tips for teaching math facts? Well, of course I do. I haven't shared my background with you that often, but I used to teach in a first grade classroom with struggling students, and they really struggled with math facts a lot of times. And I've taught my own 6 children their math facts, so I have a lot of tips on teaching math facts. So I jotted down a few for you, and I just like to use the multiplication facts as an example because I think that's one that kids struggle with sometimes. So the first thing about teaching math facts is you don't have to buy anything real expensive to teach math facts. A basic set of flashcards will work just fine. If you want to use computer programs or the wrap-ups or all these fancy electronic devices, feel free. Those can be a lot of fun, but they're totally not necessary if they're not in your budget. So just get yourself a set of flashcards or make some flashcards. And when you're teaching the math facts, I suggest that you teach them in groups. So for multiplication, you teach the times 0 first, then the times 1, then you put those two together. Then you teach times 2 by itself. Put the times 2 with the other facts and mix them all up. And just gradually work your way through all the groups of math facts until your child has mastered all of those. Now, what's really tempting to do sometimes to save time is after a while you take out the times zeros because after all, those are so easy, right? But I suggest you keep those times zeros and times ones in the pile because as soon as one of those comes up, you can just read on your child's face, oh, he's confident on this one. I know this one. And it just gives them that confident feeling, gives them some motivation to keep going, that yes, I can learn these. So keep those easy ones in there even when they're moving on. It doesn't really take that much time to review those. Practice daily. This is not something you can practice once a week and they're going to get it. The more often you practice, the better off you're going to be, and don't turn it into a long session. Just spend 5 or 10 minutes every day on math fact practice, but do it every day. Even in the summer, my kids would forget some of their math facts over the summer, so finally I learned like once a week during the summer I just got out the flashcards and we reviewed for 10 minutes, and then when the fall came around they still had their facts mastered, so that saved me a lot of review time in the fall. If your child has some troublesome facts, like they just keep missing the same ones over and over, especially on multiplication facts, it's important if you can get them to master skip counting first, counting by twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, because then they'll recognize what those answers are supposed to be. And sometimes when you get into 6s and 7s, they haven't mastered that skip counting, 6, 12, 18, 24. If you can practice some of that, sometimes that will help with that. And then the more modalities you can get involved in learning the math facts, the better. And by modalities, I just mean how they're practicing. So you want to have them write the math facts. You want to have them say the math facts out loud. So instead of just telling you the answer, have them read the whole math fact. That way they're also hearing it at the same time. You could have them demonstrate the math fact. So for 2 times 3, make 2 groups of 3 of some type of object. So whatever you can do to get more modalities involved when you're teaching, that will help them to master those. And then, take a few days where you're not concentrating on the other math facts and just work on the ones that they're really having trouble with, and then try to mix them in with the ones they're more comfortable with. And then finally, on timed tests, a lot of curriculum use timed tests, and that's great. Some kids love timed tests, and they love to, see if they can beat their score, see how fast they can go. But other kids, it's totally stressful for some kids to take a timed test. And if that's the case with your child, then I wouldn't bother with the clock. Eventually they're going to get it fast enough. So that's your judgment. If it's going to motivate them or stress them out, you will know best. But those are some tips on teaching math facts. And if you would like any other helps, I have a lot of free stuff on my website. You're welcome to visit there at www.homeschooladviceonline.com. And if you have a question for me, please write in and let me know, and I'll see if I can get an answer for you. I'll see you next time.